For years, people have been waiting for one thing: the $25,000 Tesla. A Tesla so affordable that millions of people who could never dream of owning one might finally be able to park one in their driveway. Headlines exploded when rumors of this car first appeared. Media outlets called it the Tesla for the masses, the EV that could change everything. But what if that's not the real story? Because if you look closely at Tesla's history, one strange question starts to emerge. Why would a company obsessed with AI, autonomous driving, and robotics suddenly focus all its attention on building a cheap car? Does selling a low-margin vehicle really make sense for a company chasing trillion-dollar ambitions? Or is the $25,000 Tesla simply the door, while the real plan is hidden behind it? Because once you start connecting the dots, a much bigger strategy begins to appear, and it could reshape the entire auto industry. But before we get there, we first need to understand the battlefield Tesla is standing on today. Because the electric vehicle market is no longer what it used to be. Just a few years ago, Tesla dominated the EV world almost uncontested. It was the brand everyone talked about, the company that forced the entire auto industry to take electric vehicles seriously. But the landscape has changed fast. The global EV market has exploded in size. In 2023 alone, around 14 million electric vehicles were sold worldwide, and the number continues to climb every year. Tesla delivered roughly 1.8 million vehicles, an enormous number by any standard. But something else happened at the same time. Competition arrived, and not just from traditional automakers. The biggest challenger has come from China. A company called BYD has rapidly expanded, selling over 3 million new energy vehicles in a single year, when counting both fully electric cars and plug-in hybrids. When looking strictly at battery electric vehicles, the gap between Tesla and BYD has grown incredibly tight. In several quarters, BYD has even managed to surpass Tesla in pure EV sales. Suddenly, Tesla is no longer racing alone. Legacy automakers are also pushing hard into electric vehicles. Volkswagen has expanded its ID lineup across Europe. Hyundai and Kia are launching new EV platforms with competitive range and pricing. In the United States, companies like General Motors and Ford are investing billions into electric trucks and SUVs. And in China, the competition has turned into an all-out price war. Some companies are aggressively lowering prices just to keep up. But here's where things start to get interesting. Because while the rest of the industry seems focused on selling electric cars, Tesla may be focused on something entirely different, something much bigger. From the very beginning, Tesla never really behaved like a traditional car company. Most automakers obsess over horsepower, fuel efficiency, and styling changes. Tesla approached the car from a completely different angle: software. When the Model S first appeared, it wasn't just another luxury vehicle. It was essentially a computer on wheels. The car could receive over-the-air software updates, unlocking new features long after it left the factory. That idea completely changed expectations. Then came the Model 3 and Model Y, and suddenly, Tesla wasn't just selling luxury vehicles anymore. It was scaling its technology to reach millions of drivers. But even then, the car itself might have only been the beginning. Because Tesla's real strength isn't just the vehicle, it's the ecosystem surrounding it. When someone buys a Tesla, they don't just buy transportation. They enter a software platform. New features can be added through updates. Performance upgrades can be unlocked digitally. Advanced driver assistance systems can be activated through software purchases. And one feature stands above all the others: full self-driving. For years, Tesla has been developing its autonomous driving system, constantly improving it through machine learning. And every Tesla on the road is helping train that system. Which brings us back to the mysterious $25,000 Tesla. At first glance, it seems like a simple move toward affordability. But if Tesla sells millions of cheaper cars, something else happens at the same time. The number of vehicles collecting real-world driving data has exploded. Every mile driven becomes valuable information. Every intersection, traffic light, and unexpected road event feeds Tesla's AI systems. And in the modern tech world, data is power. The more vehicles Tesla puts on the road, the smarter its AI becomes, which leads directly to one of Elon Musk's most ambitious ideas: the robo-taxi network. Right now, when most people buy a car, they think of it as an expense. You pay for the vehicle, the insurance, the maintenance, and the fuel or electricity. Money flows out of your pocket. But Tesla has been pushing a completely different vision. Imagine a car that could drive itself safely without a human driver. Now imagine that same car offering rides to other passengers while you're at work, or even while you're sleeping. In that world, the car becomes something very different. It becomes an asset, a machine capable of generating income. Tesla's long-discussed robo-taxi concept is built around this idea. Owners could allow their cars to join an autonomous ride network, similar to Uber or other ride-hailing platforms. Passengers request rides through an app. The vehicle arrives without a driver. A portion of the fare goes to the car owner. Another portion goes to Tesla for operating the network. Suddenly, the math changes. Instead of selling a car once and walking away, Tesla could earn a small percentage from every ride taken by every car in the network. That's recurring revenue. And if millions of Teslas eventually become part of such a system, the scale could be enormous. Now think about how the $25,000 Tesla fits into this picture. A cheaper Tesla would mean far more cars on the road. Millions more. Each one is capable of collecting data today and potentially joining a robo-taxi network tomorrow. That's when the affordable Tesla stops looking like a simple budget car and starts looking like the foundation of something much larger. But Tesla's strategy doesn't stop with software and AI. Another critical piece of the puzzle sits beneath the floor of every Tesla vehicle: the battery. Electric cars live and die by their battery technology, and Tesla has spent years refining this part of the equation. Most Tesla vehicles rely on advanced lithium-ion battery systems made up of thousands of individual cells. Earlier models used 18,650 cells, followed by 2,170 cells in newer designs. More recently, Tesla introduced a new format called the 4,680 battery cell. These cells are physically larger, allowing more energy to be stored while reducing the number of cells needed inside the battery pack. Fewer components mean simpler manufacturing and lower costs. Tesla also uses different battery chemistries depending on the vehicle. Some models use lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are extremely durable and cost-effective. Others use nickel-based chemistries designed for higher energy density and longer driving range. Then there's Tesla's battery management system. This software constantly monitors temperature, charge levels, and performance across thousands of battery cells, helping extend the lifespan of the pack. Combined with Tesla's global supercharger network, this technology has helped make long-distance electric travel far more practical. But even this might not be Tesla's biggest advantage, because Tesla has been quietly revolutionizing something else: manufacturing. Traditional automakers often rely on complex supply chains involving hundreds of different suppliers. Tesla took a different approach: vertical integration. The company designs and controls a large portion of its own technology, from software systems to battery architecture. Inside Tesla's massive gigafactories, production operates at an incredible scale. One of the most radical changes Tesla introduced is something called gigacasting. Instead of assembling a car from hundreds of smaller metal components, Tesla can cast massive sections of the vehicle frame in a single piece. That dramatically reduces the number of parts required. Fewer parts mean less welding. Less welding means faster assembly, and faster assembly means lower manufacturing costs. This is how Tesla continues pushing prices down while maintaining relatively strong margins. But none of this guarantees success, because Tesla's ambitious strategy also comes with serious risks. The first major challenge is regulation. Autonomous driving technology operates within strict safety rules set by governments around the world. Even if Tesla's technology becomes capable of fully driverless operation, regulators must approve its use, and each country has different standards. Without regulatory approval, the robo-taxi dream could remain stuck in testing phases. Another challenge is safety. Driving is unpredictable: rain, snow, poor road conditions, unexpected obstacles. The real world throws endless complications at autonomous systems. Even a small number of high-profile incidents could damage public trust. And then there's competition. Tesla is not the only company chasing autonomous driving. Major technology companies, startups, and traditional automakers are investing heavily in their own systems. Some are experimenting with different sensor approaches like LiDAR, while Tesla continues relying primarily on camera-based vision systems. The race is far from over, and perhaps the biggest challenge of all is execution. Building an autonomous driving system capable of handling millions of unique road scenarios is incredibly difficult. The technology must function across different climates, traffic systems, and cultural driving behaviors. What works perfectly in California may struggle in crowded cities across Asia or Europe. Scaling a robo-taxi network would also require massive computing infrastructure, real-time data processing, and constant software updates. It's an enormous technical challenge. And yet, Tesla keeps moving forward. Which brings us back to the original question. Is the $25,000 Tesla really just an affordable electric car? Or is it something else entirely? Because when you look at Tesla's strategy from a distance, the pattern becomes clearer. Cars bring people into the ecosystem. More cars create more data. More data strengthens AI. Stronger AI enables autonomy. And autonomy unlocks entirely new business models. In that world, the vehicle itself might not be the final product. It might simply be the platform. The true product could be the software system controlling millions of vehicles across the planet. And if that vision ever becomes reality, the $25,000 Tesla might not just change the EV market. It could quietly become the most important machine Tesla has ever built.